Heart and Soul, class 4, lab 4. Great to be with everyone. And we did something kind of crazy again in a hopefully a good way. The Mudra cards, that the deck that we're using with the course, the Mudras, we asked
Yeah.
AI to create a guidebook based kind of on our teachings because AI starts to learn, stuff about you. So we actually have that guidebook, the Mount Rose AI guidebook for the Mudra deck in your resource section. We put that there. We don't,
Cool.
it's a private thing. We don't claim, some of the numbers are off. There's some errors and things, and but I think there's some validity to it. We just started looking into it, and just to show you where it is, and I'll refer to it today when we do the reading, um, just to show you where it is in your resource section. So there you are, and we are in class 4. You're seeing it now, right?
Yes.
Class 4, and there's the Mudra guidebook, Mount Rose and AI. And if you click it, you'll open it up. And so we'll just use that for the guidebook when we do the reading, and we'll do that 3-card reading. And I think Jane did that with you on Tuesday too. It's the spiritual counseling. So the first card is what needs to be healed. You can do reframing and anchoring with that. And then the second card is how to heal it. And the third card is your next step. And I'll show you how to do that. Again, that will be kind of, I'll have to see where you are and what you have in terms of what to do. I'll demonstrate it for you. You may not want to go this whole route because you may not have everything ready or be quite ready to do it. But I'll show it to you as an option, which you may or may not want to follow up on, give you another tool. But you'll do the reframing and anchoring in any event. And the 3-card reading that Jane did with you, which if you have the soul coaching deck from the last course, you could use that too. And let me show you that one. So that's the 3-card reading Jane did with you, the spiritual counseling reading on Tuesday. And that is again, in your resource section. I'll show you where that is, just so it's clear where everything is. So again, in your resource section, showing you that again. Class 4. And there's the 3-card reading that she did with you on Tuesday. What needs to be healed, card 1. Again, we'll use the Mudra cards, although you could use the soul coaching cards, how to heal the blockage or your next step. There are other alternatives you can use for this reading. These are kind of different ways to look at it.
I don't recall we did a reading last Tuesday, did we? I don't recall.
Did you, with Jane, with the 3-card reading, did she do that or not?
No,
Maybe
right?
No,
Right?
no.
she did not. Okay. Well, maybe she didn't do that, and I got mixed up on that. But we could do that as an
Mhm.
option because I think you might enjoy that with the reframing and anchoring today. So the reframing and anchoring is you find an issue, you connect with your soul, and you reframe it. You identify the issue very specifically, not just a generic, I get angry sometimes, or I'm angry once in a while at my husband. What specifically, I don't like the way my husband talks to me sometimes. Be very specific. One issue. So you have that and you feel angry or whatever. That's the issue. You anchor that on your body. You could just put your hand on your left knee, as Jane said, or where you feel it in your body. If you feel it in your heart or in your, often in the chakras, the third chakra, put your left hand there. Remove your hand, connect with the soul. When you feel connected with the soul, put your right hand on your right knee. This is a review again. Why the right knee? Because you can just always keep it there so you don't have to think about where. In other words, you're kinesthetically, you're connecting the soul awareness to your body. When you touch this kinesthetic, you touch the right knee. Why the right knee? Because it's easy to touch. You could touch any part of your body, but we always do it the right knee so you don't have to think about it. So you have the two anchors, the issue, wherever that you felt that, or your left knee, and the right hand on the right knee for the soul, and then you collapse it, you remove your left hand, hang out, and then you did one round of reframing and anchoring, which is usually more powerful than EFT. What I just told you, as powerful as EFT is, especially holistic EFT. And you can combine it with EFT, which we often do. Are there any questions just about the basic reframing and anchoring, which I know for George, it's kind of new for you, but I think for the others of you, we have covered that before, so this may be a review.
Is
Any
that
just
written?
questions about the basics, which is, and there is a handout in your resource section too.
Thanks.
Okay, that's clear. So then you would start with an issue, and we could add on the reading. So you have the reading and then do the reframing and anchoring, you see, which is what we'll demo, and then you can practice it on yourself. Okay. So that means we have a volunteer. I'll do a 3-card reading with them with the Mudra deck. And I have a little, in case, I'm going to pull it out of my closet just in terms of tools, because I'm using a second camera and you may not, of course, have a second camera, but let me show you something. In case you're working with someone where you can show the cards, let me pull out something for you. I got this on Etsy that just, but there might be, and I don't know what it exactly is called. And it's a little frame, so I can put about 3 cards in it. There's little slots, kind of like a business card. So you could find something like this on Etsy. I don't have the link or anything, but somewhere, because you probably don't have a second camera, that's a little more elaborate. But it's kind of nice because you can hold them up, you see, like this. Because if you have 3 cards, even 1 card is pretty easy to hold up to someone, but 2 cards is a little more, and 3 cards gets pretty awkward. But that's kind of a nice holder. So I just show you that as a potential tool in case you want to get something like that if you're going to do 3-card readings to other people on Zoom.
They just call
But
it
I'm going to what's it called?
A card holder. Is that what it's called?
Okay, I'm going to take a super look if I can find it in my order book. Unfortunately,
Probably could put like tarot card holder,
yeah, I wish
something like that,
yeah.
or oracle.
If I had the receipt, which I'm going to see if I can just quickly find it. Yeah, I can't find it quickly, and I don't know. Yeah, can't get it quickly. So I don't know what it's called. It's the answer. You'll have to. I wish I did because it's
yeah, you can look online. There's several come up. I'm just on
what's it called?
Temu. I just put in card holder and they're showing me quite a few different things. They have little separate ones and
card holder. Yeah, look up card holder.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Card holder. So that's a nice little device for you, something easy, inexpensive to get. Okay. So let's do the 2-part healing. And so in other words, someone comes to you, person you're helping, right? And it's going to be very good if you can use cards and the healing. It's another nice enhancement, another nice tool you have to help the person. So to show you how it is, a volunteer, who's the volunteer for today? Who would like to volunteer? George?
I would.
Got it. Okay, so and then now, so we start with something specific, right? And that is what? Something you'd like to, have more clarity, more confidence, more something. What's
Um,
ailing you, George?
Could it be physical?
Did you say creativity?
Could it be physical or is it,
Um, we could do
Th-
physical, but I think it would be better to be emotional, which has
Okay.
related to we're good when we do the illumination process in a couple weeks. That would be good to do a physical thing on that.
oh, I see. Okay. Well, I
And
don't
do you know?
know.
Do
Maybe
you
let
know?
the
Do you know what the
Emotionally, I'm in
physical?
pretty good shape.
Do you know what the physical is related to?
No, I mean, that's what I'd like to know.
Yeah. So try to on the class
Okay.
when we do the illumination process. I think it's in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well,
Will be
let,
that would be a
you let,
good because it can reveal that it can actually reveal the what the physical is related to, but that would take that's a process that we haven't taught you yet, so we can't really do
sure.
that
Um,
now.
Phil, Jane did a physical on Tuesday
Oh,
with
she did.
Terry on her fingers, yeah. And of course, it's linked up emotionally and other too, so I don't know.
She just started with the physical and and it went to the emotional, or she just
Well, it
started
ended
with the
up,
physical?
talking, well, Terry, you can speak for yourself, like how it went, right? It went physical and how else?
she got her to bring up an emotion related to the physical
Okay.
issue.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So that's sort of the way the process is, but we have a whole systematic, very great process that we're teaching. So she did sort of a approximation of it because it is, as you said, it is connected, and it may be hard to just pick that up. I guess Terry was pretty intuitive, picked it up, and I don't know if you can pick it up because it could be kind of buried and unconscious. So it's often something that's unconscious that's been so repeated that it creates something physical. In other words, there's some emotional, which relates to mental attitudes too, mental and spiritual things, and it eventually comes out as a physical, but it may be very unconscious on the emotional level. So it's week 6. I'm seeing that we'll teach it. It's called the illumination process. Week 6. We're in week 4, 2 weeks from now. Week 5. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So that's an incredible process. So unless George, can you sense what it might be emotionally? What I don't know what the physical is. Do you have a sense of what it's the emotions connected to it?
Haven't really gotten that far. I started in working in that direction. It's like you go so many levels of why or whatever, but I didn't get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, you may not have it yet. Does someone have something that might be a more emotional thing, or an issue, a conflict with someone, something that's not working out for you, or you feel kind of
I think
blocked or stymied?
I have.
Cynthia, go.
Cynthia, yeah. What do you got, Cynthia?
Um, I witnessed something Tuesday that was traumatic to me, and then it brought up other issues in the past when I
Yes.
witnessed stuff like that. And so it just really discombobulated and had my nervous system on like hyper alert.
Okay. So do you, so what can you describe it to us just real briefly? What is it that's concerning you?
Um, I witnessed some domestic violence.
Oh, you're talking about in the past, in your past?
Well, on Tuesday and then in the past. And what it brought up when I saw it, it just brought up all of this anxiety and just anger and frustration and stuff within me.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. Okay. So just I do kind of metacognition the way I teach, as some of you may know. So I'm going to be working with Cynthia, and I'm going to be talking to you at a class at the same time. So the class to the metacognition question, the class, do we know enough to start the healing with Cynthia? Yes or no?
I would say yes.
I would say no.
No, okay.
The reason is I don't know what she's referring to. Now,
Okay.
maybe she does, but in other words, if I don't know what it is, how would I approach it specifically, and how would I know that it was actually effective? So
Do you want me to describe
yeah,
exactly?
I'm going to ask you that question,
Okay.
but the point I want to stress again, the guideline is if you said to someone, "Hey, I had a session with a client today," and they said, "Well, you know," and there'd be confidentiality, of course. Say, "Well, what was it about?" "Oh, well, she was anxious about something in the past. She was traumatized with it." "Well, what was it?" "I don't know, but I cleared it. I healed it. It was a." "Well, what did you clear?" "I don't know. I have no idea." Do you understand where we are in the process of not going forward yet? Now, Cynthia may or may not know clearly what it is, but I certainly don't. So that takes us to step 2. So I say, what specifically are you referring to? And if you don't mind sharing it, you know, I understand we're in the setting, but you know, I think everyone here is supporting you. Can you specifically say what it is you're reacting to?
What I saw on Tuesday or my past? What I saw on Tuesday was a altercation between a man and a lady. I did not know them. I was taking out my garbage and I saw a lady coming through my alley and she kept looking back. And there seemed to be some conversation between her and this man that was in his car. And so she kept coming, and I went across the way to put in the garbage, and she got like behind my house, and the guy drove up in the car, and there was back and forth dialogue, and I knew it was negative. So she ended up turning around and leaving, going back the same direction that she came. And as she was passing by me, I just told her, if you need to, you can go through my yard. And she thanked me. She kept going. Then the guy, when she got about 2 houses down, the guy jumped out the vehicle and ran to her. So I crossed back across the alley to go into my yard and turned around. And I saw him holding her. And then I saw him slap her.
Yeah.
So from that, I just got, really upset and frustrated about it. So I went in my yard and I went behind my garage so they couldn't see me. And I called 911 to report it.
Okay. So he attacked the woman?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So that is violent. That is disturbing. Okay. So you're disturbing. And okay, well, it could be relating also, it's a disturbing event in itself, and it might relate to personal things for you even going further. But let's work with it just as is without going any further. I mean, this could be
Okay.
something that could have multiple layers to it.
Yeah,
So
'cause they
then
told
we'll
me
we'll
all
start with
gibberish
reading.
that day and onward.
Yeah, because that's certainly enough. Now, I now understand why you were reacting. And you were feeling what?
I was feeling anger first, frustrated. I was, like after that, I took some time to kind of get myself together and I went out. And it was
Yeah.
like every man I saw, I really wanted to harm him.
Right.
I was so angry about it.
Sure. Oh, okay. So right now, reacting, what would be the strongest emotion? Anger or frustration or something else?
I would say anger because,
Anger. Okay.
I felt like
Okay.
helpless, like I really couldn't help her,
Yeah.
because I didn't know the whole situation. And,
Right.
sometimes in those situations, the person trying to help gets harmed. So
Right.
I
So
kind of
just we like to give numbers and find the strongest numbers when you heal 1 to 10. So helpless could be considered a feeling. So we measure anger 1 to 10, 10 being the most, and helpless 1 to 10.
I'm actually off the charts with this one. So definitely a 10.
Okay, 10 for anger or helpless?
Both.
Okay. Which one would you say is the stronger to look at? Do you have a preference?
I said probably helpless.
Okay, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, so now we go back to the reading and we'll do a 3-card reading with the mudras and get an interpretation. Again, it's the first one is what needs to be healed. The second one is how to heal the blockage. And then the third one is your next step. And that's the 3-card reading. So using your mudra deck, again, could be any deck or the soul coaching deck from the last class. And I'll let me get my other camera for a closer view for you guys. So I'm picking the cards. I sorted the cards in this deck for the ones that are easy to do by holding them.
Mhm.
So I eliminated some of the cards personally just because I find the gestures kind of hard to, some of them are pretty intricate with the hands. Just, you can do whatever you want. You could pick these individually, and I'm just shuffling them. So the first one is what needs to be healed for Cynthia and her helplessness in this situation. It's contemplation. So remember the AI deck, the Mount Rose AI deck I showed you that's now in your resource section?
Mm-hmm.
So contemplation is card number 32. I'm going to give the reading for what this means, what needs to be healed, according to the interpretation deck that we had AI develop for us. So that's card 32 in this deck, the handout. You have a customized experimental deck. Some of the numbers actually don't match. We don't have everything exactly aligned. So it's actually card 32. It says 31. Contemplation card invites you into reflection, Cynthia, inner journeying, and deep mental stillness. Mm-hmm. True wisdom is always born in the strategic pauses of life, making it vital to step back from active doing to allow understanding to digest fully. Put down all digital screens, sit quietly, journal, find your deeper thoughts.
Can't really
Okay.
hear you, Philip. Why?
George, did you say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said I couldn't hear you.
Oh, my audio cut out. Did everyone else hear me?
I was
Right.
able to hear you. I was able to hear you.
Okay, so what again it talks about contemplation, stepping back, being still in that situation. What anything come to mind to you?
Um, so is that like when that particular thing happened, does that mean I'm supposed to get still, or is it to release the energy that I was feeling in a meditative state with the mantra?
Yeah, well the beauty is you're receiving it. So you're responding the way you feel drawn to from that card. It's evoking what is right for you. There's not any supposed to in this. It's pretty open and fluid. So how would you view contemplation about that situation? We will do a healing, but just if there's anything you want to quickly say about it, we'll come back to the reading in a moment. And actually, it might be good also to do the hand gesture too, because that will give you some ideas. So the hand gesture is described. Place the left hand in the lap, palm facing up. Lay the back of the right hand onto the fingers of the left. Bend the index fingers and align them. Lightly touch the tips of both index fingers. So why don't you do that for a moment? And it's nice to have these physical experiences. So while you're thinking of contemplation about that incident, and you have that mudra where you're touching your thumb to the index fingers coming up. You got that, Cynthia?
Right. I'm doing the mudra right now.
Great, good.
Um,
As you're doing that and noticing, contemplating, and again, going back to that incident, and that's obviously a challenging incident. I don't want to dismiss it or make it slight it. I mean, it's a challenging, difficult,
Yeah, because
painful kind of thing.
actually, today I was calm and I was able to go and work in my yard early today and I was okay. But, when I had to just explain what happened to you, it's just brought up, it just put me right back in the moment. And I've been feeling
Right.
so much negative energy.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
what are you feeling now, though, right now about it with the mudra going on? I'm just curious.
it's
Whatever
like
you
fight.
okay,
Not
fright, you
flight,
said?
but fight. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Fright or fight?
Fight.
Fight.
Yes.
F-I-G-H-T. Okay, fighting. Okay. And that's the anger part. So let's go. What needs to be healed? The second card. So the first card is what needs to be healed. 3-card reading. The second one is how to heal it. And then we're going to reframe and anchoring. And I'm getting the freedom card. Let's see, you can see that. That's another mudra about being free. And can you see the locking, the Garuda mudra? And bring the left hand in front of the heart. You can put it anywhere, palm facing in and thumb facing upward across the back of the right hand behind the left until the thumbs meet, interface the thumbs and fan the rest of the fingers, fan. So that's fairly easy to do, I think. So that's part of the healing, and we'll do that with the reframing and anchoring too. Okay. So before we do the reframing and anchoring, now that we know that the idea is you want to get to a place where you're contemplative, and I will give you also a reading from the guidebook before we do the healing on freedom too, just to give you a further piece of information. So this is number 28 is freedom. Yeah. Freedom card points directly to your personal sovereignty, Cynthia, liberation from mental cages, and pure expansiveness. You're fundamentally free at a soul level, and any limitations you experience are simply mental constructs you have agreed to buy into. Tap the top of your head gently to stimulate your higher mind and consciously dissolve any self-imposed mental rules that limit your options. And again, this is sort of a new AI deck, so you may or may not want to tap your head. But I do like the idea of holding the mudra for a moment to get free. You want to get free of this situation, right?
Yeah, and what's coming up was the first time I witnessed that, and I was a child. So what I'm getting from that is that I never got freed from that first incident.
You mean you went with this harkens back to a childhood incident? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So you're really healing the childhood reaction, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you, how old were you when this happened as a child?
Maybe 5 or 6.
So when you were 5, you witnessed some violence. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's heal the child. Okay. So where do you feel that is it still anger and fight that you're feeling? Is that the predominant feeling?
Yes.
Okay. 1 out of 10, how strong?
10.
Okay. So where are you feeling it in your body?
My chest is beating. My heart is beating fast.
Okay. So why don't you put your left hand on your chest? Just take your left hand is there. That's the anchor, right? The anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now just remove your hand, let that go. Remove your hand and let it go. Think of nothing. And then when you connect with the soul, when you breathe that into your heart, right? And if you want to do the mudra, if that helps you, you could do the freedom mudra where you're breathing into your heart with the freedom mudra, where you're interlocking the thumbs again. You got that? Good. Very good, Cynthia. So you're interlocking your thumbs. And now connecting with the soul energy into your heart and all the freedom and expansion that that allows you, the perfect understanding and healing, bringing that in to your heart from your soul with the freedom mudra. Let me know when you're feeling that connection, Cynthia.
I'm feeling connection.
Great. Okay. Okay. So put your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your knee.
The right knee.
Right knee, yeah. Good. Remove your hand from your heart. So we did the reframing and anchoring. And then why don't you go back to the freedom mudra to integrate it even more? We'll just add that extra step in, extra healing, breathing that in. And part of the idea was having kind of a contemplative, clear place for reflection, right? Stillness. What is that stillness telling you and your child? You may or may
Basically,
not be getting a message yet. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm seeing myself when it happened as a child, and
Yes.
it's kind of like confusing. And because I offered to call the police, and I was told, yes, call the police. And then by the other party, I was told, no, don't call the police. So I was kind of back and forth, and I'm seeing myself just in that confused state, and like just kind of taking a pause to, you know, it's almost like surreal, like really this is going on, and I'm stuck in the middle with this.
Yeah. So that, okay.
Kind of the same thing that happened Tuesday. I was stuck in the middle.
Yeah, no, I got it. Okay, so put down the mudra. We're on layer 2. We're actually going into an extremely deep healing very quickly, just as everyone noted. This is not like a little someone, honked at me at a stop sign. But that's okay. That's what this class is about. Just so we went to a different part of the situation. I want everyone to consciously realize this, including Cynthia. She started off with anger and helplessness, and a deeper layer now is confusion. She said she was confused. That's a deeper layer. 1 out of 10, how confused?
10.
Cynthia?
A 10.
Yeah, so okay, so we got to the next layer. So now we check where that is in her body. Where do you feel the confusion in your body?
In my chest still.
Still chest. Okay, put your left hand on the chest for the confusion. Okay, and bring the right hand to the knee for the soul connection where you feel that soul, right? And all the love from your soul coming into your body, right? And the acceptance and healing. Are you getting a sense of that, Cynthia?
Yes.
Good. Remove your left hand, which collapses the anchor. And now you just have the right hand for the soul connection.
Yes.
You move your left hand from your chest, so you only have the right hand on. Good. And now just to add an element, since we're doing the mudras, you can go to the freedom mudra that lock in even deeper that sense of freedom from your soul in the situation for clarity and freedom. So you're free now to transcend this situation with the energy from above coming into you. Your personal sovereignty, expansiveness. Breathing that in. Okay. Let me know when you have felt a shift, a change.
I felt somewhat of a shift. It hasn't totally left, but
okay. What are you feeling? Yeah. Okay. So what feeling? Is it confusion or something else?
I'm feeling, since I shifted to the freedom, I'm feeling like, like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a 7, I'm free from all of this.
A 7 of freedom out of 10, you mean, for positive? Okay, so that's the positive scale. How much confusion is left out of 10? How much confusion is left, if any?
I'm still at a 7.
Okay, but you feel freer. Anything else besides confusion?
Well, just to share with you,
Yes.
after the situation happened when I was young, um, I was told by the perpetrator to never let a man harm me. And all I can think was, well, you just got through doing what you just did. But I was a child, and there was
Right.
an adult. I couldn't say anything. So that
Right.
brought up mixed, emotions and feelings. And anytime after that, it always came up to not let a man harm me. And so in seeing it, being done to someone else, I kind of automatically go to this fight or flight, kind of more of a fight situation.
Yeah.
And try to offer assistance.
Right. So wanting to fight. So now what is your soul telling you about offering comfort to the soul? What does the soul want to send the child who was confused to help her?
That you're free from this burden. You no
Yes.
longer have to hold it.
Yes. How is she receiving that message?
She's just looking up at me.
She's what?
Just looking up at me. She kind of like turned from where she was, looking forward to turning and looking at me.
Is she receiving the message?
I believe she is, yes.
Oh, good. So just sending the love in that message, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So how's she feeling now?
I'm giving her a hug.
Good. Is she liking that?
Yeah, it's comforting to her.
Good. So she can be free to release that. So, okay. And because for now, just to complete this part of that I want to do the third card, which is your next step. And I know there's still some healing to be done. And I don't propose, even though this was, maybe, a major thing that we just took on here, which I think was good. And there's probably there is more to do, but I want to complete it for now and just do a third card reading. So I'm going back to my deck, and the third card, the first card was to contemplate, to be in a contemplative place about this, be open and still. And what you need to heal is to become free of it. This is what you're processing. And the third card is the next step, which is reverence. 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 Let's see. And that's an easy one with your hands straight up. And I'll read from the manual. This is your next step according to the card reading. And I will show you the guidebook, the AI Mount Rose guidebook. It's numbered incorrectly. As I said, it's 39. It's actually 40 in the deck. The reverence card brings beautiful energy of sacred respect, honoring life, and deep, profound gratitude. The ultimate soul lesson of this entire journey is to treat every single moment, every being, and every challenge as a sacred initiation designed for your soul's evolution. Bow your head slightly, place your hands over your heart, and offer a silent prayer of profound gratitude for your physical life in your soul's grand journey. So putting your hands in the mudra position, and this one's pretty easy, just straight up. I think you can see that pretty clearly. And there's I know this is a challenging traumatic experience, but if it were to teach you something or show you something, to have reverence for your life, have a certain honoring of your life, even though this was a very difficult experience. What would you gather as your next step to understand about from this difficult experience?
That even though things happen, I don't have to
Yes.
hold on to them. I can
Oh, okay. You don't have to even acknowledge it happened without holding on to it.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Is
that is
there?
part of life, and you
Yes.
know, an evolution, like you said, that when you hold on to things, then kind of keep repeating those things.
So hold on, not hold on is a negative. Do we, if we were to put it in a positive, would you say let go? Would that be a way of, having it in a positive?
Yeah,
Okay. So do you like the mudra, the holding the hand straight up? It's the
I've been
Jolly mood.
doing it. It's working. It's
Let
things
go.
are coming down because I was like on hyper alert. Like I said, once I start talking about this, and
Yeah.
my
Okay.
arms and everything, it was just full of energy and just.
Yeah. Very good. And breathing and just continue. And then the coaching follow-up could be something like doing that regularly, saying letting go and giving the girl the hug and saying let go. And maybe I'm here with you, hugging her, doing that on a regular basis. Does that sound like a good follow-up plan from what you said?
It does.
Good. Okay. Well, we went into a pretty big, deep process with the cards. And for those of you who are coming to your second course, we did multiple things, not just reframing and anchoring, which is we could have done solo. I know for George, that might have been a lot of pieces together. And if you were to approach someone who had a big issue like this, you might need to do it more in little pieces and segments over time and go slower. Since I've done things like this many times, I went relatively quickly on something, but I think it was still pretty effective. Would you say?
You're fading, Phil.
Would you say it's my voice is fading?
Yes, now
Now
it's better.
it's good. Thank you. Would how effective was that, Cynthia? Just to get an evaluation from you and for the snapshot.
It brought me down to a 5, so I'm
Okay.
not at a 10 anymore.
So it's more manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be, part of the healing, a very deep healing, a lifetime healing. So what we did is like saying, and the class sort of has this way of doing it, like, okay, we're doing a demo in class. What's the biggest lifetime trauma you've ever had? Let's do it. Let's look at it in a half hour. No, you don't have to do 6 months of therapy or a year of therapy. We'll tackle it in a half hour. But I think you're in a better place than when you started. Would you agree, Cynthia?
I am.
Okay, so that was progress. I'm just going to open it up for comments or questions. And that took a little while because we did a lot of steps, and I can give you some options for practicing. Is George still here, or did he? Oh, George is here. Okay, good. Questions and comments about it. Well, let me review what I did before I get questions, just because I did quite a few steps. Okay. And let me take my cards off screen, go into cure mode. So we found an issue. We found a specific issue. I knew it related to a childhood thing, partly because I know Cynthia, but partly because she had such a strong reaction to that violence, and it mirrored so much of her childhood. But I was just kind of seeing how to manage the time, and it just naturally went back to the childhood, the source of it. Okay. The 5-year-old. And I didn't go into the specifics of it, but we knew it was watching some kind of violent action as a child. Okay. And feeling helpless and being threatened by the perpetrator. But it was something you were watching. It wasn't happening to you directly. Is that correct, Cynthia?
Yeah, I was watching it, and no violence or anything was directed at me.
Right.
when that happened. But it was when I offered assistance to the one that it was being done to, it was initially accepted and said, yes, go call the police. But the perpetrator said no and
Yeah.
started kind of running after me to stop me. And
Okay.
so I
So
kind of
there's
back and
multiple
forth.
traumas in there, and
Yeah.
that's sort of a two-piece thing. So again, you know, technically, maybe we bit off more than we can chew, maybe not, but I think all of you saw that we have two parts to it. We have the healing reaction where she felt helpless and confused, and the other part, the fear about trying to help and being threatened. So
And then
that's another
because
part.
the other part, probably because of the confusion, was that there were two other parties there and they were just non-reactive to the whole situation as if that was normal. And so
What did they do?
they did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they did nothing. Right.
They continued doing what they were
Right.
doing as if
Yeah.
that wasn't
So you
one.
have so there's three parts. So there's people who should have been assisting not, and then the person who perpetrated threatening you. So you had three things. So there was
Well, I wasn't threatened, but I was told don't call the police. And then later, after everything cleared, I was like pulled to that person and told never
well,
to.
you were told, but you were told, yeah, but that's an issue too, that you were stopped from doing what you thought was the right thing, which was really, it was the right thing. So that's an issue, that you were told to not do it by an adult authority. Yeah. Okay. So it's multiple. I don't want to go any further into it because we could spend the next 2 hours probably going into different layers of it. But I think we made some progress. And if you're working with someone who has like a complex traumatic situation like Cynthia's, just know that you're not going to get everything in an hour. We spent a half hour, just because there's multiple traumas involved. But you want to leave her in a positive place, an empowered place, which I think we did. So in the next session or the next, practice you do with a partner, then you would go from the healing you did. So the child feels supported by your soul, but then there's the thing about, why are other people not helping and why am I being threatened if I try to help, so those are different issues. Each one may take a half hour, an hour, be multiple sessions. I don't know.
It's definitely multiple layers.
Yeah, multiple. Yeah. So thanks for sharing it.
And I thank you for pointing this out because I reached out to a neighbor after, I got in my house, and the neighbor didn't answer, but the neighbor called me later. And because the actual event happened behind her house.
Okay. I'm gonna, because of time, I wanna give people a little bit of time here, Cynthia. And I know it's not complete, but thank you for doing that. By the way, just for technical things, Cynthia, I'm hearing you cut out. And are you hearing me cut out? I don't know if it's from.
No, I hear you clearly.
Okay, so I think it might be Cynthia's internet. I just want to see where that's coming from.
No, well, my internet is strong. Mine is strong.
Okay. Are other people hearing Cynthia cut out? I'm just curious. Was her audio cutting out from other people? No. Oreo, you're saying you heard Cynthia?
No, I could hear her.
She didn't cut out. Okay, so it might have been on my end, that part of it. Okay. All right. I got more to investigate there. All right. All right. So let me go over what I did. I want to review the steps. And I'm basically going to have you do a reframing and anchoring just because there's too many steps, I think, with the time we have to do it when you practice.
Right.
Because I don't know if you could do all the steps. It's 5:20. Yeah, I don't know if you could do all the steps. What do you think? With the card reading and the reframing and anchoring, do you think there's enough time? Because we have, let's see, we have about 20 minutes. That might be too much. Let's just do some reframing and anchoring. You did get an example in detail of how to do it with the cards. you have that and you have it recorded in case you want to go further into that. And you could do it with the soul coaching cards too, the 3-card reading. Any
What's-
comments or questions just on the 3-card reading? And I'll just review, and then reframing and anchoring we already reviewed. So the first card was what needs to be healed, which was the contemplation card. How to do it, the freedom card, and the mudra, being how to get free. And the third one was the next step, which is being reverent. In other words, learning from the situation, the reverence about what that was teaching Cynthia.
I had a question.
Yes, Terry.
Although I had a really hard time getting on Zoom, I got bumped off and was not able to get on the meeting a number of times, so I turned my phone up. So I don't know what and that delay happened. But also I did get there when you were prompting Cynthia. And then you mentioned the soul connection. I'm assuming you already did that before I came in.
During it, I took her into a soul connection when we started doing the reframing and anchoring. I said, open your heart. I had her do the mudra position just because we were doing the mudra cards. But otherwise, I would just have her open her heart. You could do the mountaintop, but we did have her just open her heart and feel the love of her soul coming into her body. Remember when I said that? Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to just change see something here. Okay, let's see if that's any better. So remember when I took her, when I guided her to open her heart and bring in the energy and love of her soul?
Your volume has dropped again.
Do you remember when I had her open her heart and bring in the love of her soul and the perfect understanding and healing when I did that in the process?
I heard you say it. I just didn't see a process. But she's familiar with it, so it could be that she just dropped right into that place. I'm thinking of working with somebody who may not know that process. So I
Right.
guess
So,
I would just
yeah, so you would
more
teach her. If Cynthia was a new client, I would teach her the process first. That would be step one.
Okay, that's all.
And then we would do the reframing and anchoring because she could anchor it with her soul.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jane,
I
I
feel
think
being
taught
late.
that on. Yeah, that's okay. And Jane taught that on Tuesday, I believe.
And Philip, if that was something a little too much for a person,
Yes.
could we also have an alternative, had them to go to a peaceful or happy time in their life?
Exactly. That would be perfect. Let's say the person that seems too far out or it doesn't feel right. You just go to a happy, peaceful place or a place in nature in their mind. Remember a beautiful sunset, a beautiful nature scene.
And then we also I could have also gone to the mountaintop, right?
Go to the anchor. I'm going to reposition something here. I'm still adjusting things with our adapter here. Is that any better? Are you hearing me any better now?
I'm able to hear you just fine the whole time.
You're
today.
fine. And okay, good. All right. Yeah. So they're what you're hearing and what I'm hearing. Okay. Got it. Thank you. So going to a place in nature would be a good alternative if they can't get to the soulful place in their heart, or go to the mountaintop like we often do. That's another soulful connection. I would say those would be better if you can do it, and you need to get that connection, and you need to be sure that they've connected. And when they are, have them put their hand on their right knee to anchor it, because that's what's going to be the healing.
I have a question.
Yes, Ariel?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that, we're taking somebody at the beginning with, connecting with their soul and bringing them to a peaceful place.
Yes.
And then connecting and they're in that peaceful place. And then all of a sudden you're bringing up the trauma to put on that, put their left hand on the left knee. I
Mhm.
see that as kind of like almost like, energetically assaulting a bit in a way, you know what I mean? Because you're taking them to that peaceful place, and then all of a sudden they're like boom back, they
Right.
they
Right.
need to remember this number 10 thing and put it on their
Right.
list. So
Right.
I don't really understand how that
Well, let me explain
is.
it to you. It's a good
Okay.
question. Okay, simply, again, this is usually more powerful than doing EFT. What do you do with EFT? Well, you start with something that's very bothersome. I'm feeling helpless in this violent incident. Even though part of me feels helpless, I love and accept myself. The love and accept yourself, or the anything is possible, miracles are happening now, is like the soul centering, you might say, equivalent in EFT. So people say, why would you be bringing up the issue in EFT? Because you're trying to heal that. You are healing that. You're getting into wholeness.
No, that's not really the point that I was making. The point I was making is that in the steps that you're doing, and if I'm not communicating it right, just let me know. But the steps, maybe I'm wrong, is the first step we do is have the person, well, obviously talk about what's going on, and you're, getting the numbers of where they're at with that, and then you bring them into a soul connection, bringing them, let's say, for
Yeah.
instance, into a peaceful place. And then from that moment, the next step would be to do the reframing, correct? Is that
Right.
the step?
And right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so the question is like, I just don't, I just feels that like
Yeah.
at the, when you're bringing them into the soul
I
connection,
understand your question. Let me
you're
answer
bringing
that.
them kind of down, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, I know I understand your question clearly.
and I love the reframing. I actually like
Yeah.
it better than EFT.
Right.
I just don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to just trust that this works this way. So
Mhm,
the idea is they came to you to heal.
mhm.
Cynthia came to me to heal her helplessness, confusion, anger. I mean, lots, but and what's going to heal it is her soul energy.
Mhm,
If she doesn't, so I have to make sure she has her soul energy available or
mhm,
going out in nature to heal it.
mhm. Yeah,
So that's like saying going into a doctor and saying, this is very peaceful. I'm feeling good now. Like, okay, now I'm going to take this instrument and do surgery to heal you. Well, why do you have to do that instrument? I mean, I was feeling pretty good when you were saying, because that's how you heal.
Okay.
All
Okay.
of this is for a lesson for your soul to learn and heal.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time, so obviously it works. So I was
Yeah,
just
because otherwise you're not going to heal.
right.
It's
And
like
then
saying, I don't want to
also,
bring it up because I'm feeling uncomfortable. Yeah, well, that's the whole idea. You
Mhm.
want to heal that discomfort. Well, how do you do it? You heal it with the soul.
Right. Okay.
and then also, Philip, doing both before we started, wasn't that establishing the situation, then also establishing the alternative, what I want to use and to how to heal it before we began. And that way I would know how to follow the process when you went through it. Would that be correct?
The alternative, you mean like going out to something in nature or something? Is that
Like,
what you mean by the
so
alternative?
like in the beginning, we talked about what the situation was. So that was like the negative. And then the positive was me going to my soul center, right? So that was like the positive. And then when you started the session and you guided me through, I knew where to go to be able to follow you and then also heal the situation.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
Couldn't you just anchor it when she was feeling it? Say, put your hand on your left leg, and I want
Yeah.
you to place there, and then go into the positive because you already placed it.
Okay.
I mean,
So let's just go
I
back
can't
to
follow.
simple. There's two places you're going to hold on your body, two anchors. The left hand, and just because I'm always doing left hand for the issue, is the issue. Let's say it was her helplessness. She had several issues. And you could put it on the left knee or just she was feeling it in her heart, right? That's where it's anchored in her body. You remove the hand and then you go to the positive anchor, which is her soul. you get connected with the soul, and you want to make sure she has a connection or the nature connection. And when you have that connection, you put your right hand on the right knee. Those are the two anchors. The way the process works, it's very simple. It's only two places. It's simpler than EFT.
Why
If
don't
you,
we start to the heart, which is
And
where
then-
it was.
yeah, and then the third part, you have two anchors, is you collapse the anchors. You put both hands back simultaneously. One hand on the heart, which she identified that area as the issue, the anger, and the right hand on the knee, which she anchored her soul. And the last thing is you remove the negative anchor. What was the negative anchor? The heart, the feeling of helplessness and anger, right? And that's it. And again, I'm going to just show you the handout where this is described in about 6 sentences. I'll just pull this up for you since it seems to be a question today. And we have it described very simply. I think I do, yeah. Okay. Let me pull it up. The handout, which is on your section, you can muscle test, which we'll talk about next week. But today we didn't bother with that. Pinpoint what you want to address, which we did with Cynthia, with the helplessness and the anger. 1 to 10, and we did confusion, actually the last one, and it was 10. Reframing and anchoring. Here it is, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to do. That's 6 positions. In EFT, there's 9 points, so there's fewer taps than EFT. This is all it is. Look at this closely. Think of the issue and place your hand on the left knee. She was confused. You can put it on the left knee, or you can actually put it on where she feels it in her body. I had her put it on her heart. Either way. I think it's better to where she feels it in her body, but either way. That's the anchor. What's the reframe? Recall the positive experience or the soul, which you may have to establish ahead of time, as we said, if they haven't done it before. And then put your right hand on the right knee. And that's a separate thing you do. Okay, so now you have the left hand for the negative and the right hand for the soul positive. Okay, those are the two anchors, two things. So now you put both hands on the heart or the left knee and the right knee and remove the number D, think of nothing. And E is remove the left hand. That's collapsing the ash, and just stay with the right hand. That's it in the handout. So it's, and what I suggest you to do is memorize these 6 positions, 6 sequences. It's not a lot to remember. It's actually easier once you understand it. It's fewer things to remember than tapping EFT. Ario.
Yeah, I don't want to beat this to the ground. Just want to make it really quickly clear. So you remember the
Yeah, no, go ahead.
you remember the handout that we did with the process of soul connection, right? That soul connection, that long thing that we were doing.
Yeah, connect. Right.
Okay, so that's why I was getting confused. I thought that we had to do that first and then go to the beginning of reframe and anchoring, but it sounds like the reframing is the soul connection. That's where we're doing it. So we
Right.
don't have to do that whole long soul connection before the reframing and anchoring process, correct?
Okay, let me put it in perspective.
Okay.
The person needs to know how to connect with their soul.
Right.
I've worked with Cynthia. I know she knows how to do it. If Cynthia, this was the first time I worked with Cynthia, I would first of all do a soul connection, long or short. That would be step 1, because how could she reframe with her soul if she doesn't know how to do it?
Okay.
I can't just say, okay, connect with your soul and put your right hand on your right knee when you're there. She doesn't know how to do it yet.
Okay. I get it now.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're asking these questions, because this is the nitty gritty. So again, I'm going to just go over the steps real quickly one more time.
Okay.
And again, if you memorize this, I would recommend doing it. So if I woke you up in the middle of the night and you said, what are the 6 steps of reframing and anchoring? You can just do what I'm about to tell you.
Mhm.
They're not hard. It's
No.
patty cake time. There's 2 points on your body, 2 positions. There's not 7 tapping points in EFT, just 2.
Mhm.
It's just a sequence. And what's different from EFT, there's an intentionality about it. And that's why I think it may be deeper, and more effective. And again, you can do it with EFT, combine it. Okay. So one more time, here's what it is, which hopefully you will remember, and you can tell me that this as quickly as I'm about to tell it to you now. I'll give it to you one more time. Find the issue specifically.
Mhm.
Get the emotion. Cynthia, confusion. Measure 1 to 10. 10. You can put your left hand on the knee to anchor it, or she saying where you're feeling it. She felt it in her heart. Put your left hand on the heart. That's the anchor. She doesn't, it's very easy. You don't have to try hard to do it. She's, we're trying to remove it. I mean, this is there. It's just front and center. You don't have to ask her to find it. It's there, too much. Okay. That's 1. Remove your hand. Next anchor. Assuming she knows how to connect with her soul, because you've done that. Okay. Open your heart. Connect with the love in your soul. Go to the mountaintop. Go to nature or whatever. Tell me when you're there. I'm there. What's it like? Feels very peaceful. She's there. Now, second anchor, put your right hand on your right knee. Since I was doing the mudra cards, which maybe was too much for you, that might have confused you a bit. I just added that to it, but that was a kind of another layer. But anyway, right hand on the right knee. So we've done 2 things. Put the left hand on the heart where she felt it, removed it,
Mhm.
connected with the soul. Second anchor on the knee. When she's there, you have to make sure she's there. If she's not there, you need to go back and do the soul centering.
Mhm.
How do you know if she's there? You
Ask her.
ask her. And if she says, oh, I feel I'm on a mountaintop and everything is fine, she's not there. She's just mouthing words. She's not in a soulful state.
Mhm.
She's just saying, oh, yeah, I'm going there. And she hasn't changed her energy. You can feel it if she's there or not. And you probably know. And she'll probably be there because all of you are good at guiding. Okay. So she's there. Right hand on the right knee. Remove your hand. And so after we do, she's got both of them. What's the next step?
Place
Okay.
both hands.
Both hands. Since she identified the heart and the right hand on the knee, I guess if I back up, I don't know if I can't really, like this. You can see me here, I guess. So I
Mhm.
need to back up. A little hard. Camera's too close. Okay. So then after both hands are on, what does she do next?
Think of nothing.
Think of nothing. Good. And then what?
And then remove the left hand, remove the right hand.
Remove the
Remove
left.
the negative and the
Mhm.
negative anchor for reframing. And then I usually hang out because there's a very profound change that's happened.
Yep.
So what's happening if you do all that is usually more profound and more effective than your best EFT experience, if the person can do it. Now, if the person can't soul center or anything, yeah, maybe not. But
And I
it's
did feel the shift.
yeah, it's very profound. It's very
Yeah.
deep, and it's
And
very
even when, I went to my soul center, it everything just calmed down like instantly. And
exactly.
then of course when we went back, then it went back to the negative, but it wasn't as profound as it was previously. So you do feel the shifts.
Perfect testimony.
Some may be subtle, some may be really big, but you do feel
Right.
going from the negative situation to positive.
Yeah. Can you see the depth and the spirituality and the elegance of doing this? And it's really more elegant in ways and really more spiritually aligned in many ways and deeper than EFT, as great as EFT, holistic EFT is. And it combines beautifully with it. So you do EFT and you say, now go into the soul-centered place. You could have them put their hand on their knee and get a message or get more healing. In fact, if you do that, it will multiply your results from EFT. So having done this for years and seeing, it looks like nothing is happening, or it looks like, so people actually make that objection, Ariel, that you made, like, with EFT. Well, why would you keep, saying the negative things for EFT? Why do you just not say I love and accept myself?
Mhm.
And the analogy is I have a dirty garage. My garage is filthy. I'm just going to bring in new furnishings, new furniture, new facades, and it's a great new garage, isn't it? I didn't clean out anything. I didn't get all the rotten furniture and the dust and dirt up, but I have all these new facades and screens and everything. See, I'm healed, aren't I? No. Or I swept everything under the rug and it looks great now, doesn't it?
Mhm. Mhm.
So basically,
I'm really glad we cleared this all up too, the steps and stuff, and that we kind of like said that, well, if the person's never soul centered, you have to let them go to the soul centering first, so they know after they've anchored the negative where to go to clear it and anchor the positive. That made a lot of sense. So thanks for clearing all that up. That was, I think, important for all of us.
Yeah. Okay. I think, Pamela, you got it. You made it clear there. Yeah.
and then also felt it's still going to always be a part of my memory, but basically you was taking
Right.
it out of active mind and putting it just back into my memory bank where I don't have charge. Of course, it would take more sessions for me totally relieved, but I don't have as
Okay.
much charge with that now than I did before we did the session.
Okay.
Ultimately, you want to get it in your memory bank, but no charge, no emotion to it. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, because you're going to always have that experience, but you want it to be neutral to you.
Right. And that's where I termed it no charge.
Right.
Going
So
into it.
yeah, it happened to me, but an analogy is it's like it happened to someone else. Now, if someone else had a traumatic experience, you'd feel very compassionate toward them, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
But unless you're identifying it as your own, you wouldn't react to it.
Now, I would say physically, it didn't happen to me in either situation, but emotionally, it definitely happened to me, you know.
Yeah. Well, right.
Because when
Emotionally, it
you're
was a
around
big
that
thing.
kind of negative energy and, when you think of what should be normal and what is not normal. So it
Yeah.
definitely something happened. It just wasn't physical, it was spiritual and emotional that happened to me. And
Okay.
so going through this process was just removing the emotions and the spiritual component and replacing it with something peaceful and healing.
Good. Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, I think we didn't have a chance to actually practice further, but I think we got a very, very important piece of reframing and anchoring clear. Did anyone have any questions? And I would encourage you to practice it. It's actually very simple to do, but it is profound and you need to be intentional. Were there any comments or questions on that? And then next week, we'll go into the muscle testing with those very powerful checklists. And then we'll do the healing with reframing and anchoring. Those checklists are really great for finding out the issue on a lot of subtle unconscious ways. So you can really pick up a whole bunch of stuff a person isn't aware of through the checklist you're going to learn next week in class.
So I just wanted to share something.
Yes, Pamela.
Yes. Yesterday, Oriel and I had a session and she brought me through a reframing and anchoring. And it was really quite profound. Like, I obviously I know how to get to my soul center. So, it was, wasn't a long drawn out thing. It was very fast and it was so amazing. And, it was pretty profound, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great
Yes.
experience. So reframing and anchoring, it can be very freeing and profound.
Yes. So Ariel, I know you know how to do it, but I hope the question and answer was a little clarifying for you there, the order of things.
Oh yeah, no, I think there's a reason why everything happens. And I think like Pamela said, it just cleared up some stuff for us on a deeper level, I think.
Yeah,
So,
and in the first couple classes, we were just doing some of the soul centering, and
yeah.
that's just so profound in itself. Just doing
Yeah.
that alone with a person
Yeah,
It's very
because
profound.
yesterday when I did it with Pamela, I did do took time, to kind of a long soul connection at first too. But yeah, I don't know why I got a little confused today, about the steps. So now I'm clear. And I think like I said, I think it brought up other stuff, clarification for everybody else as well too, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So
it
it was worthy.
good. That was good back and forth and questions and answers. Okay, very good. Any other final comments or questions for tonight for the lab? We covered, how was that for doing the Mudra cards? Was that too much? Was that interesting or useful? I know that deck and everything, that might just have been a little bit too much. I don't know how you found that.
I didn't think it was too much. I love using cards and integrating them into my healing sessions.
you
I
liked
do it
it?
all the time. So
Oh,
very
so you liked it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was an
Yeah.
add-on for, so Pamela, that was good. Some of you may not, get to that, and that's okay. And you can use it with other decks, the reading, the 3-card reading that's in your handout there. George, how are you doing, George? How are things? I know there was a lot of new material there, perhaps for you. How did it sit with you today?
Well, I listened closely and was attentive to integrating the information. So, you know what I would like to do is pair up with somebody, and since I'm
Yeah.
the only male
And-
learner in this group,
You could
you
connect with
ladies,
David
you ladies can,
Wilstad. Yeah.
oh,
You
David's
could
in this
connect with
group. Yeah.
David, yeah, or any of the,
Okay.
anyone, yeah, I
Yeah.
encourage you to do that. And if someone wants a partner,
George, I'll practice with you sometime if you want. Just reach out.
Okay. All right. Thank
I
you,
Great.
Oriel. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
that would be great.
I'm
Yeah.
game too, George. You can just contact me too if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there you
All right.
got
Well, that's
two.
good. Thank you. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
David, I'm sure would be
Yeah.
quite happy to. Yeah. That's the whole thing, is the practice. And even
Yeah.
though you didn't have a chance to individually practice today, I think we got some good questions and answers going
Yeah.
on.
And you did send out the list of everybody's emails, correct? I think so, for this class.
Yeah. Yeah. George, you have the list of everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. For this class, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lots of folks on that list that are not in the live classes, though. I mean, but that's okay.
Well, you got at least 2 here that you can practice with. So
That's
far.
right. No, I
Okay.
appreciate it very much.
Yeah. No, it's great for us too. We get to practice.
Okay.
Yeah, it is great. Well, you all did really well. And Cynthia, we're leaving you in a pretty good place then?
Yeah, I'm better.
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
better. And and I have a focus of
Good.
where I need to do some work.
Yeah.
So
There's a
I'm
couple
glad
pieces.
that it unveiled some things and it
Yeah.
kind of explains quite a bit.
Can I
And
just
that was a big issue. And thanks for being vulnerable on that. And it does take some time to get something of that proportion.
Can I just ask one thing from you, Cynthia? I'm just curious.
Go ahead.
I was just curious. Did you feel any did your inner child feel any satisfaction, I guess you could say, because I guess what I was observing is that you weren't able to express yourself. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm just wondering if this could have come up at all, that as a child you weren't able to have any power, right? You felt helpless. But then as an adult, which I thought was great, was that, for some people, they still would feel kind of paralyzed because they weren't able to, they'd feel helpless having the same scenario happen again. But you actually took charge. You got empowered. And
Well, actually, it was a little more to it as a child. So the place where I saw myself, I had stopped. And I was just kind of visualizing and taking the whole ordeal in. And it was probably I was at a point where the person was telling me, don't go, call the police. And then I was witnessing the other 2 people who were there who could have helped, just doing nothing. So that's probably where the confusion came in. Now, I don't remember the whole story, but I did call the police. And I kind of remember, so it kind of stopped from, you know, the person chasing after me. And I do remember going to the phone and dialing 911.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what happened after that.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
later on it was,
I know there's a lot more involved with that.
Yes,
and a
sorry.
good thing is, and also just to be not, you know, like open doors once we get to see if you're working with someone who has multiple things, you have to look at a good place to end. And you want to be intentional. You're
management.
managing the session. So we got to a good place. We don't need to kind of open the door and see what else, because we know there's more stuff there.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you're in charge, you're the one who's in charge, because otherwise the person will kind of leave on a up note instead of a, okay, you know, I got some good things and I'm working on this, and she's going to send love to her child and hug her, and she has that mudra and she has some good things to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question, but there's a timing, and you want to really be very intentional when you're
Mhm.
going into these deep issues with people and how to manage them. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, you all made good progress. Thanks for your attention. We went into some very deep places today, and there were some very good questions. And I'll stick around for after hours if anyone has further things. And of course, Ariel, I've got you down for
Yep.
next Thursday
Next Thursday at
3
3
p.m.
my time, 3
Yeah.
Central.
Sounds